That completes the three types of slides or three categories of slides that we wanted to demonstrate, which is display slides, in which we covered title, bullet, icons, image, and video. We then did interactive slides, which had make a choice, a quick word, and share in detail. And finally, we did a quiz contest, which took slides from all three categories. One called What's Your Name, two called Leaderboard, two called Multiple Choice, and three called Leaderboard. The only one thing that remains is a novelty page. There's one called Collaborative Art and one called Decision Forest. Because it's a little more complex, we are going to cover this in a separate video. Let's do a quick run now, start to end, and see what happens. I'm going to go from here, the first slide. I've got a participant today, and that participant is sitting with 2 or 3 mobile phones, hopefully. And we'll see how to showcase the participation in here as well. The only one last thing I want to showcase here is the type is covered, text is covered. More comes for 3 or 4 types of slides only, but you have to select that. But the 4th tab here is called colors and images. This is a text color. So if you click in this, you get a text selector, and you might pick something like this. And if you do that and click outside, what is going to happen is it is going to change the text color in real time as well. Again, I'm not a big fan of that color, so I'm going to go back to white, but know that you have full choice. You can drag here to change the color to anything you want. Once you have selected that, you can pick something, and whatever color has been selected is visible here first. Once you click outside, that gets applied instantly. I'll go back to it being white. Now I want you to introduce to a background color and opacity. Background color is this. No, let's change the image first. The third option is called background image. If I was to click on this and I hit on A to Z of facilitation, which is an image that I have created, I click on that, that image is now going to become the background. If no image has been selected, then the theme default is applied. But if you select an image, that image gets displayed here. If you go back, you will see you have an option to click and remove that background image. If you do that, once again, you get back to, the theme default image. But you observe what happens here. There is something called opacity. It is a number between 1 to 100. Let's say I type 1 and say okay. You see what happens is because there is so much white in the background and the text is white, this slide is no longer visible because it is merging with the background itself. So this is what opacity is about. You first select a color, the background color that you want. I want a black background. Think of it like layers. The image is on one layer. On top of that, I am putting a transparent, semi-transparent layer to see through. So if I was to change the opacity from 1 to 50, let us say, I click on that, then a semi-transparent black layer is put on the image, and thereby the text that you have typed, which has white in it, becomes a little more visible. Once again, you have an option to pick whatever color you want. You could go, for example, and do this, and that tint or that shade is applied. My experience has been that if I go and select a black one and a white text on it, or a white one and black text on it, that stands out really well. So that is about the colors and images. If I look at the second slide, colors, I will see that I have an option to pick a background image. That means no image has been picked. That means the theme default is being used. In here, I have decided to override the background image, and therefore this thing has come. So you can download and upload images. Be sure that the image that you are uploading is not more than 10 MB. Because if you set a very high size image as your background, the people who are going to be using this in the participants, they are going to struggle a bit because it takes a little time to load on all screens. So be very careful to upload a small image. We are going to optimize the image size also, but if you try to upload something over 10 MB, we will not be accepting and uploading it. There are enough online resizing software applications. So if you go to Google and search for image resize, they'll allow you to upload your image and download a smaller size image, and you can come and upload that here. So that's about the image. And finally, I have one tab which looks like the gear, and it has three options, three big buttons. One which is in black, which says reset all votes. Now imagine you have done an entire session where people have voted on your presentation. If you want to reuse the presentation, you click on this and all votes are cleared. Once we do a demonstration, I'll come back and show you how reset all votes works. Another one is show all bullets and hide all bullets. Once again, I think this will make a lot more sense once we actually do the session and come back. The only thing I want you to observe here is called show joining code. So if I was to take this off, let's say this was messing with the look of the background. If I do that and I go to present it, if you see, this one has the code in it. If I go back one step in here, that joining code has been disappeared from the screen. In the top right corner, it's not there. I go to the next one, it is visible. That is because in the settings, I have said no to show joining code. I'm going to turn this on once more, and I'm going to do a presentation. Observe how this works for the when the participants actually start to participate. I click on present, or like I said, I can hit F. Once I'm on this screen, I can do either right or left arrow key for it to move forward or next. Because many people like to actually click on the slides as they're explaining some text, we have disabled for the moment clicking of slide to change the slide itself. We are going to now go on to the next slide and see that there is code 388152. I'm going to enter that on my phone. Once I do that, I'm going to get an option that looks like this. On the phone, there is a option, and I can hit on the phone, the heart icon. If I hit that, observe in the bottom right corner how the heart choice has changed. So I've got a participant sitting with me who is going to press on this. Let us say I press on the question mark icon. The question mark icon count increases as well. So you can use this to your benefit when you ask a question and say, if you know, hit the heart icon. If you don't know, then hit the question mark icon, and you are in a position to actually show this. If you observe in the bullet page, the three bullets are not visible right now. When I hit the right button, they appear one after the other. Once again, this is our advice on how to do sessions. Don't show all bullets at once so that people are not spending time reading your bullets rather than listening to you. However, if you do like showing all bullets at once, or there is a use case which calls for it, there is a way in which you can do it, and I'll showcase to you as soon as this demo is over. If I hit on the right button now, another page comes up. Once again, it is the icons page. I click on the right, that appears. Click once more right, click once more right, and one after the other, that appears. If I was to hit the heart icon again, if you observe in the bottom right corner, the heart has got a number 1 on top of it. I go to the next slide, and I see it's an image slide. And because this is an image slide, the image itself is going to be visible on the phone. So if I was to show this on the screen, if you can observe, I am following along. On my phone, the image is visible as well. Once again, the interactions can happen on this one. I go to the next slide, and the video appears. I can click on that. The video will start playing. I can finish playing the video. I'm here with the infamous Notorious. And click on it and go to the next slide. So this is the video slide. Remember once again that you cannot upload your own videos. However, you can give a YouTube link. In the multiple choice, what happens is that the user or the participant sees 3 options. And as somebody hits a button, so if I was to hit bullet text 2 now, you will see instantly that the options start appearing and displaying here in a multiple choice environment. 4 people have voted here. it is 2 people with 3 phones, sorry, 4 devices who are voting. But once you have a bunch of audience participating with you, the responses will start coming in real time, and you can use that for your facilitation. The next one is called the multiple choice pie. If I was to select an option here, bullet text 3, you will see that instantly bullet text 3 has been given some points, and once again 4 people have voted, selected in various ways, and in real time the bullet have been assigned a weight which says how many people have voted and what percentage of the slice of the pie this represents. I go to the next slide. This is the part where people are allowed to type in their responses, right? So I am going to say, hello, this is interesting. I type that and send, and instantly that appears on my screen. I've participated as a participant from my phone here, and as I type and send it, this appears on my facilitator screen or the host screen. Somebody said interactive, that appears. And again, if there were 20 people sitting here and participating, this builds into some sort of a word cloud, and it is quite a sight to behold. Okay, so multiple people can participate in it, and all those words will start appearing on this screen. I am going to go now to the next slide. Somebody said enjoyable, so that appears here as well. So I go to the next slide now, in which you can type a much more detailed response. While this was a 2-word, 3-word response, I can in here type a much longer response that answers specific questions, let us say. I type this and send, and you will see that it spans into a much bigger place. One other participant said this is a much more nuanced response to your question. And as people type, as lots and lots of people type, this share in detail will slowly move up. These will come one below the other, and as you want, you can scroll. And somebody can ask a question right here, and this becomes your de facto chatting mechanism as well. If you wanted, you ask a question, ask for a much longer, thoughtful response here, and that appears. So that becomes the share in detail page. That takes care of the interactive pages. And what we have now is that we have 4 participants on this. And like I had said, some fun little names and a combination of an adjective and a animal name has been given. These are assigned randomly. And there's an icon there. So somebody has typed their name as participant 1. I am going to type my name. I am the Jolly Raccoon, as you can see here. I am participant 3, let us say. I submit, and you will see instantly the name changes. Obviously, you can have your participants give their real name, or you can ask them to change it to some other superhero name or something of that style. So all your participants in here, no matter how many they are, they will all start appearing here, one below the other. So this is the first thing that you do before you start and create a quiz. I now go to the quiz page, and you will see right here, the quiz does not start immediately, because once again, because this is a quiz, there is points at stake. You want people to be ready. People might not have their phone handy. They might be just engrossed in your session. They might have stepped out for a bit of a water. So you want to give them a little more time, give them a fair warning and say, I'm going to start the quiz now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, count down, and you hit the start quiz. Once you hit it, you will see that a countdown timer has begun, and on your participant screen as well, there is a timer that is running down. Now, depending on who is going to answer how, you are going to see that once the timer runs down, all the answers are shown all at once, because obviously you don't want options to, influence others. Unlike a response in a poll, the quiz has answers right and wrong. So 2 people have given right answers, those separate, and 1 person has given, 2 people have given wrong answers. So this is how it is going to be. As more and more people participate, the graph will adjust and it will show all in one shot what is right, what is wrong. Green is the right answer or answers, and red is the wrong answer or answers. And once you go to the next slide, you're going to see that there is a leaderboard, and 2 people should have scored points, and 2 people should have scored 0 points. Let's go now to the next slide and see what happens. This is the leaderboard page. This is where the first participant has scored 1,050 points, the second has scored 1,034 points, the third has scored 0 points, and the fourth has scored 0 points. Once again, when there are lots of people, this is a scrollable list and that covers everything. Let's go to the next slide. Finally, I'll show you the value of these icons. Let's see that we have all these options visible here. I'm going to go on this one, and I'm going to see that there's an option that says reset all votes. I click on this. It's going to ask you, this impacts all slides. Are you sure? You say, okay. Now the quiz has been reset. If you go back to the multiple choice, that has been reset. If you go back to quick word responses, that has been reset. All of these things have been reset, and you can reuse this entire application once more. If I go back once more here, let's see this. If I'm on bullet page, let's say, and I present, now you will see all 3 bullets have appeared all at once, right? If I go back here and present and hit on right, all these are here because they have once been used. You can hit back and make them disappear, but they will remain visible for a while. So just before starting the session, you might want to click on this red button that says hide all bullets. You do that, it says it impacts all slides. You say okay, and you present. And the next time you go here, this will once again be in this format where the bullets will appear one after the other. So do the icons. Okay, so let me get rid of this and showcase to you what happens when I do the show all bullets. Some people don't like showing bullets one after the other. So you can always click show all bullets, say okay, click on present, and if you go right, all bullets are appearing all at once, all icons are appearing all at once. So that is a way you can do this. And that covers the all the aspects of display slides, interactive slides, quiz slides, and in general, how this thing works. Let us say I was here and I added a slide on this by mistake. This slide was not supposed to be here. This was supposed to be in the very end. Let us say I wanted this to be the thank you slide. And that slide does not make sense here. So I can right click on it, click on move to, and if I do that, it's going to say move the slide after which slide. And I'm going to say move this slide after leaderboard slide. I say fine, I click on OK, the page refreshes, and you will see that the thank you slide has appeared at the very end. Let's say by mistake, I added yet another slide at the end of thank you, and I did not want it. I can easily right click on this. I click on delete slide, say okay, that slide gets deleted. Now you're caught up on every aspect of the presentation. Thank you.